Wooden piers standing high and dry, stretches of sand with scattered puddles. Boats beached without hope of moving.
Different town, same story. Clayton Bay only has 180 permanent residents and is heavily reliant on the tourist trade. But of course, what the tourists used to come here for was the water. And now that the water levels are so low, the tourists simply aren't coming.
And sales at Clayton Bay is a casualty. Owner Graham Mitchell is selling up his cafe.
How have you seen the low water levels here affect your business?
Well, basically, as our business has dropped off considerably. When we first moved here, which was about 13 months ago, there was still some water. It's dropped off quite a bit, and what we've found is that the locals are not coming in as often as they used to, predominantly because of the economy. Tourists are not coming here because there's nothing to see. So our business has probably dropped off by about 60 to 70% in the last 12 months.
The water issue is all-consuming in the area, but it's pitting community against community.
Goolwa are very much, they've got quite a loud voice, and it almost appears that they don't care about anybody else. They just put their opinion across. Whereas really, this is a national issue. You know, we've got to get it away from being a Clayton issue. It's not a Goolwa issue, it's a national issue.
In Malang, the community is sticking together.
It's a shame, it's a shame, it's a rotten shame what we've all done to you. Turned off a tap on a mighty flow, just a trickle to the sea.
This gathering at Malang Community Centre is common here, according to the centre's Karen Bradford. Born and raised in Malang and devastated by what she sees.
What's it like for you on an emotional sense to see the lakes in the state that they're in?
It is something that I can only just describe as a heart thing, really. Like, you know it's not right. There's a sense of powerlessness, that things are out of your control, and you know, we know because we live here that things are dying and being really affected.
This is a community passionate about their environment, passionate about each other.
This is a fabulous community, I've got to tell you. They're really strong, and they do get together. Today is an example of that. They also support one another socially and emotionally. So, you know, you just keep an eye out for your neighbours, and you talk to people, and you know, share a few tears every now and again when times get really tough.
And times are tough. Malang is reliant on tourism, agriculture and viticulture, and no water means no business. These vineyards are at Langhorne Creek, another area that's struggling because of water.
This is a private desalination plant just outside of Langhorne Creek. You see, residents here have always been reliant on fresh water from the lower lakes, but of course they can't rely on that anymore. So they've had to resort to things like private desal plants, their own bores, and also private pipelines, just in order to survive.
Mark Cleggett has lived on this land all his life. His family settled in Langhorne Creek in 1850, the very fabric of the community.
So as a grape grower in this area, how have you guys been affected by what's happening down at the lower lakes?
Well, we haven't been able to access water, and the water that is there is very saline, which we can't use. So we've had to use alternative sources of water.
And is that expensive for you?
Yes, very expensive.
What about the emotional side to it? Because I imagine that it has been quite tough being here without any water.
Oh yes, that's true. There's been a number of growers in the area that have you know, I believe that are suffering from this, yes.
And what about community morale? How's that sitting from your view?
It's still quite good, I think, but honestly, we wouldn't want this to go on too much longer.
Of course, we can't talk about the lower lakes without emphasising the environmental disaster that is right on our doorstep. Peter Owens from the Wilderness Society recognises the health of the lakes is crucial to everything else.
It's the environment that underpins all the social elements that are important about this lower lakes, all the cultural elements that are important. If the environment collapses, all of that goes with it. So this is critically important that we get this right.